I'm going to be reviewing Bad Vibrations. This is probably one of my favorite albums that A Day to Remember has ever made. The first thing that I really like about this album is the art on it. So when I first showed you the cover of the album, it had these two put together, but when you take that out, it's got a really cool watermark on the back of like a shadow of a monster that he's looking at. I thought that was really cool. Also, there is a pamphlet. This pamphlet that was in it actually has some really cool art on it as well, that has watermarks on the back of it. So there are some hidden images through the watermarks that you probably can't see, but I think that was one of the really cool features of this album for the art for me. And also the lyric book has watermarks on it. I think you can see that one pretty good with the shining of my light. So Bad Vibrations really struck me when I first listened to it because the songs had a realness to them. They talked about real problems. Turn Off the Radio was one of my favorites because it talked about how media is like trying to corrupt our view of society. Exposed is another one of my favorites because I feel like it really talks about the political things that are going on. I mean, he starts out saying, I'm pro-American, but I'm anti-politician. I mean, who can say that they haven't felt a little irritated by our political ideals right now, with things going on with the presidential election and such. So number one on the album is Bad Vibrations, and I feel like it talks about really whenever you make choices, you have to live with them. And I think there are some people out there that don't really understand that, and they feel like that they don't have to take responsibility for their actions. Next on the album is Paranoia. This is the leak, the first single that they came out with to show us the album Bad Vibrations. And I think it's really interesting because, to me, I connected with it because it made me think of depression and other illnesses like that, and how you can't get away from stuff like that, or maybe even just thoughts in general. They follow you around and they're always in your head. You cannot get away from them. They're just like creeping in on you all the time. Next is Naivety, and I think this really speaks to people that are in their mid-adult stage, and they feel like they're in that middle part between adulthood and childhood, and they really just feel like they're losing that sense of naivety, really. The next song on the album is called Exposed, and I thought this one was really interesting because I feel like Exposed is about most like celebrities and people that are really watched all the time, how they can't really get away. They can't be in a private area. I mean, they're constantly being exposed on every private part of their life. And I feel like maybe, I don't know Jeremy McKinnon, and I don't know the rest of the band, but I do feel that I have gotten to know them over the last decade with their music. It's helped me out through a lot of hard times in my life, and I feel very connected with the band. So that song really made me kind of understand the hardships. Maybe not understand per se, but I feel empathetic for the hardships that they deal with, being celebrities and always having to deal with that kind of stuff. The next song is called Bullfight. What do you think Bullfight's about?
I think it's a breakup song.
Now, do you think it's a bullfight as in two bulls fighting together? Or like well, maybe whenever a matador is fighting, not necessarily fighting.
Yeah, maybe like she instigates.
She instigates him.
Yeah.
So then the next, which is another one of my favorites, would be Reassemble. And this, again, connects to me with my struggle with depression. They sing about the idea of, like, am I worth it? Am I worth trying to be put back together after all the things that I've been through and all the things that I've done? And I think that that's a really unique thing to think about, because a lot of people just want, like, I need you to fix me. But now they're thinking, am I worth it? And it's more of a dark thought for me, because then it leads to, I'm not worth it. But it could also help you figure out that, like, you're damn right I'm worth it. Like, it could be empowering. It really depends on who's thinking about it. For me, it took me to a darker place, thinking, like, wow, I mean, I am broken after all the things that I've been through in my life. Am I worth it? But I thought it was a really cool song exploring that kind of idea. The next song on the list is called Justified. And it took me a while to try to really understand this song. But I think it has a lot to do with religion. I mean, obviously it talks about I need more than faith. It really takes me back to thinking about, like, the Salem witch trials when they burned witches alive. It reminds me of the idea of being afraid of the things that you don't understand. And it takes me back to, I think it was like the 50s or 60s when rock was really starting to become a part of society, and people were thinking that it was like Satan's music, and had a really religious controversy. So maybe they're going back to that. That's what I think about it. I don't know the religious affiliations that the band has, but I really thought that it was an interesting song because of that.
Are you talking about Justified?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So the next song on the list is called We Got This.
We got this. We got this.
We Got This. This is really an inspiring song for me, because it's a real pick-me-up. I think it speaks to those people who just feel like they don't belong anywhere.
I think every A Day to Remember album has like a
pick-me-up?
song. Yeah, a song like that.
I think if there was any breakup song, it would be Same About You. Same About You is probably the breakup song. I mean, it even has a heart with a pair of scissors as the watermark in the background of the lyric spot. And I feel like it's just really, it's really sad when you think about the fact that people can lose feelings. And that's one of the scariest things that I've ever thought about, is that one day someone just won't feel the same. But in those real relationships, I think that you can trust, if you trust the person, you know that they're always gonna love you. So I already talked about Turn Off the Radio, which is next in the list, and then after that is Forget and Forget. For this song, I connected with my relationship with my sister, who has been battling addiction, and I always feel like every time something goes wrong, it's just, it happens, we're upset about it, and then we don't talk about it ever again, and everything goes back to normal. And that's what this song made me think about. It's like, there's that one person that you'll do anything for, and no matter what they do to you, you're always gonna love them. And that's kind of what this makes me think of. So next on the album is Negative Space. To me, this one also seems like a, not necessarily a breakup song, but just like a relationship type song. I think it's a song about realization of what another person is and what they're doing to you. I think Negative Space is about realizing who someone is, but obviously not in a good way.
I think in Negative Space he's talking about himself. It's a theory.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I guess it could be about like an alter ego, or like when I was talking earlier about how paranoia is like something that creeps in on you, it makes me think that it's that voice in the back of your head that you just can't get rid of. And obviously it's that negative thing that's always creeping into your mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it could be interpreted both ways, really.
Right, yeah. Well, we'll never really know what they actually meant by that.
I would love to someday sit down with the band and just pick their brains about what these songs are about. Now, some people say that it's up to the listener to interpret what the song's about, and obviously that's what I'm doing. But I'm one of those people that I'm so curious about how this song came into their head, and what is the background to the feeling. I guess I kind of want to compare my thoughts with their thoughts and see if they're the same. So the last song on the album is called In Florida, and I think almost every album that A Day to Remember has a song that goes back to their hometown. And I feel like this song, more than the others, gives a good representation of the ideals of the writer or writers. They say the less you love, the less you're alive. And I feel like that's a realization that some people don't really come to. Like, some people will close themselves off so much, and then someday they'll realize, like, wow, I've missed out on so much because they've closed themselves off and built a wall around themselves. I also feel like in Florida has an aspect of kind of minding your own business, when they say that to be good with your own life's to be good with mine. I feel like that's like, you don't need to pay attention to my life. You should be happy with your life. But I could be completely wrong. That's just my interpretation.
Kind of sounds like, to me, it sounds like be friendly to your neighbor.
Yeah, I still feel like it has more of a mind your own business kind of thing.
You could be right.
Also, this is my lovely boyfriend, Joseph. Yes, much love. So along with this being my favorite album, it also has a rating of 4.5 out of 5 stars. Bad Vibrations came out September 2nd, 2016. This is a little bit of a late review, but I needed some time to think about it. This is my all-time favorite album by A Day to Remember. I hope you enjoyed my review. Please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Have a wonderful day.